Welcome back, everybody. Game 2 of the Dominate Finals. Still spooky, still Dobby. I've just learned I count like Frieza. Do with that what you will. We're now back into the pick and ban phase of this game. Dobby is currently Primal Instinct Purple, leading by 1 game right now. And you see the response from Nebula already. No more Kha'Zix, not interested in it.
Yeah, it looked like Midnight was just too clean on it, and they were just trying to get rid of it. Maybe they're going to utilize that other, the thing that don't ban here in the 3rd round as their priority
The
pick.
other thing they'll ban.
Well, I mean, you either have Nico or Kaisa left up, so and they're leaving up both. It looks like Nutty's Tristana immediately taken out. They don't want to play against it. It looks like Pip doesn't want to leave up that Kaisa, and this could force the Nico pick. And if they don't go for it, we know Pip will grab it if they are able to.
That's pretty much just a guarantee. Whether it goes to Turtle or Haruki, that's up for debate. But we know that if this Kaisa's banned and they don't pick it, we can stop talking about that right now, Dobby, because Kaisa was banned and Nebula went ahead and they picked the Nico. So, it'll be going the way of Nebula this time. But that still leaves the question of where it's going, right? What role do they put it in? As a first pick, they may not even have decided where they want to put that just yet. Probably waiting to see what Primal Instinct is going to be drafting in response. At least the Talia open as well.
I would assume it's going to be put into the mid lane here. It's pretty much a skill matchup versus the Talia. You have a lot more range and ability, and you're still there to burst out with your ultimate. But I don't think it fits Ua's playstyle. He's more of an engage player, and I don't think he plays enchanters all that well, or at all for that matter. I could be mistaken, but we can see what they do with it, but I think this is going to be a mid lane Talia, a mid lane Nico. Excuse me.
Does it count as an enchanter if you're just flash R'ing? That's engage, right?
I mean, the same could be said about Brand, but we don't see him anymore.
Yeah, Brand doesn't flash R and lock everyone down. Brand
Zyra,
flash R's, and you're like, okay, maybe I stun one person.
All right, well, Zyra, that's a champion we haven't seen a lot of. It was played last week,
we
but
did see her.
But you're right, we did see her, and I hate you for it.
Well, Nebula, gotta be retrying a couple things here. Going back to this Varus. I like the idea here. It didn't feel like the Varus was a bad pick itself, as much as the matchup just was not doing any favors for it. He could not get any safety, just constantly being aggressed on that bot lane. Now they also have this Poppy as well, some extra tankiness, engage, survivability. Hecarim, though.
Yeah, the Hecarim just to charge in, but I still think that Poppy's Steadfast will disrupt the engage, not the ultimate, I believe, but is his E speed up. But it looks like that it doesn't fit exactly with what they want to do, but I guess they want Midnight to carry, so anything that they can help facilitate that.
Oh, there's still some potential setup here, right? You hit someone with an Ashar, hit them with Crystal Arrow, block something off with a wall, fear them into a wall. I could see some pieces coming together. The question is, what is the actual game plan for it? We don't have a top laner yet. We don't have... Well, we may have a support, may have an ADC. Questionable where this Ashe is going right now. You can see where Nebula's heads are. They're banning away this Milio. They think this Ashe is going to be in that ADC role. So where would you prefer seeing it yourself?
Ashe is just an extremely powerful AD carrier right now. Very good in the meta. Very good control as well. And able to put out a lot of damage. And speaking of the Zyra...
Hey! You see? There it is.
Flash R bot lane we can see here.
I'm not
Um,
sure if this flash art is good as the poppy flash. No, 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 no! Don't do it to me! Don't do it to me! Hang on,
yeah.
wait.
They're like, Turtle, we don't need that. We just need you to be consistent on the thresh. What you did last game was good, bordering great, and as long as he's able to control that, that's really good. The Zyra doesn't really fit so much with the Ashe anymore. It's not season 3, so and I don't think it will do well into what
Would have
Nebula
done
has
great.
planned. But I don't really like
What
Nebula's
the
draft
hell?
of
Okay.
the Rakan. I think Rakan's terrible in the Thresh. Thresh can flay him out of any engage he wants, and as soon as he's hit by that, your knockup is null and void. You're not doing the damage. You're not doing the knockup. That's why Thresh is really good counter in a Rakan.
Hmm.
And as long as Turtle, and he's been clean on Thresh so far, is able
Very.
to negate all of that, then it doesn't look like Nebula has a way in outside the Nico, Pop Blossom Flash.
I see. There's some hovers coming through here from both sides. Saw Cheeky Shaco, Cheeky Shyvana. Likely gonna see this Olaf over either of those here. And if what I'm looking at adds up, Poppy going top lane with
Mhm.
Sejuani in the jungle.
Yeah,
So
I think Poppy's just a really strong champion overall. The Olaf is a good answer to it. The Ragnarok will negate the ultimate and being knocked away, as long as you're timing it properly, of course. But
mhm,
it's a good answer. And then but like Poppy's just really good in general. And if you can all like you, Poppy allows you to turn the numbers advantage in your favor without having to use everything to burst kill an opponent. You just
right.
land it and you're good.
And that's really important because that felt like a big reason why Nebula was losing a lot of those late game team fights, right? They were finding the picks, they were getting that numbers advantage, but they had nothing left afterwards. They blew everything on a single target, and the Primal Instinct just said, oh, well, I guess we're just changing our names to the janitors because it's cleanup time. So hopefully this gives them a lot more leeway to play around with. Question is, how quickly can they kill their targets once they do so, right? You've got the Sejuani, you've got the Poppy, Rakan, you're relying on Varus and Nico for most of your damage here. Do they have enough of it?
Well, Nebula has a really good front to back team fight. They have a lot of lockdown. They have a lot of damage spread out. Although I do believe the Varus will go AD instead of AP this game. But there's still a lot of good damage to be done, and the team fight is still there for Nebula. So they're going to have to get these numbers advantage, set up these objectives. That's not something they did very well last game either.
Right.
Was get the push, maintain the wave control, and then go for the vision and then setting up around the objective. They always seemed reactionary in game 1, so let's see if that shores up here in game 2.
Well, we'll see how things tend to shake out here. I'm looking at this jungle matchup in particular. Hecarim, pretty aggressive, gets around very quickly. Quite the force to be reckoned with. Sejuani, a little bit slower, doesn't have quite as much damage as this Hecarim does. Takes a little bit longer to get it off, but a very good engager, very good lockdown. How do you feel that that jungle matchup works, not just for the junglers themselves, but for the teams on both sides?
Well, the Sejuani is really good with what she's got on her team right now. The Poppy and the Rakan, both melees, able to stack up that passive to allow you to get that stun off. Will do very well going into mid into late game. Yes, it might be a little slower than Hecarim, but you're not going to be invaded as much as you would have been in the Kha'Zix Wukong game, for example. Just because you're tankier, you're going to be able to survive a little bit more. Hecarim doesn't have that burst assassination damage. But the Hecarim does clear pretty fast. Will look to affect the game early, either by getting a scuttle into a gank or a gank into a scuttle. So as long as Egg can match the pace and answer, then I think that on the side of Tan, they win the 3v3 or the 2v2 either or in the side lanes just because they have that melee champion there to help stack up the passive.
Oh. I don't know what Hecarims I've been playing against because they always feel like they definitely have the burst assassin potential for me. Although I don't buy wards and I like to step up like pretty much at the enemy tower line.
And
So
by the
maybe
time
maybe
Hecarim comes to your lane, he's already 12-0.
yeah, I don't know how that happened. Like I'm sure none of my 8 deaths had any impact on that whatsoever. It's everybody else's fault, okay? We're looking over there.
We'd
I'm
all
not paid to analyze things.
we'd all be challenger if our teammates weren't bad.
Yeah, see, you see how you know how it is, right? This is why we work, Dabby. You vibe because you know how it be. Looking over at this team as a whole, both teams, you see the drafts. Who are you favoring in this early game versus how do you feel they scaled into the late?
Just because you have Turtle on Thresh again, I'm gonna give it
Yeah.
to Pip. Haruki was really strong in the tally. You have Thresh again. Like Pip knows what they want to do. They're not trying to deviate from their game plan too much. And it looks like they have a lot of control over it, while Nebula are still trying to find the answers to the question of how to beat Primal Instinct. And here, I think they have a pretty good answer, but we're gonna have to see if it's the right one or not going into this game.
All right, you can theorize all you want. You can write it out on the whiteboard, leave it up there for everyone to see, but until you actually put it into practice, you don't know how good your answer truly is. So there's only one thing for us to do is to see it in practice. Get into that in just a moment after a short break. Welcome back, everybody. It's the moment you've been waiting for. Boots on the ground, players on the rift, and finally, searching for the answers to the questions that we have been asking for this pretty much since the draft. Pretty much since this game was announced, right? This has always been a rather interesting one to look at. First seed against top seed, or second seed, in the same division. Not often that we see these happening. So far, it's been a good fight from both sides. Primal Instinct Purple have been showing why they're the top seed in their division. They've been staying dominant in their games, in their fights. Just have to see if CA Nebula can find those chinks in the armor once again and exploit them a little bit more thoroughly.
Yeah, I think they have a very good opportunity here to do so as well. Just not automatically picking into bad lanes. The Rumble was not very synergistic with the team, and it shouldn't have gone mid, especially once the Talia was picked. But here we go. They're setting up the bait. They don't know where Sejuani's starting because of the Poppy didn't go up the lane immediately. But they know where the Hecarim is, so we'll see Sejuani pathing top, Midnight pathing bot, and a little explosion here already happening in the top side.
Yeah, we're just getting pushed back a little bit. Barbie just has so much aggression at level 1 with this Olaf. Those base attacks do a lot of damage. The slows coming out from the undertow. Very, very strong level 1 fighter is this Olaf. Weave takes the worst end of that. Oh my god, Turtle, stop. We're level 1, man. What are you hooking them under their tower for? He's just flexing at this point. He's just asserting dominance. Banana. Knocked back into a tower. Haruki may find an early kill as well. Across the board, Dobby. It is just Primal Instinct getting aggressive. But here comes EQQ, looking to turn things around. Flash comes through, and another flash for a mech. That's going to secure the first blood kill. That one goes the way of Nebula.
Yep, that was an excellent gank there from Sejuani.
Oh my god.
Getting the kill onto Barbie, getting that flash out. This will give Griefer a little bit of leeway up there in the top side of the map. Being able to just hold off on a lot of the pressure that Barbie was exuding. But this was really good answer from Tan. They're doing what they need to do to survive the early game and try and get ahead. And you saw that, yes, Turtle is putting out a lot of pressure on here in the bottom, and Dallas isn't farming all that well.
Gosh, no, there's the flay that you were just talking about. Ignite actually comes out onto Uwa. Maybe think they had a bit more time to put some damage into him there, but Markon will survive for right now. All summoners still available for Nebula on this left side here. Keep an eye, though. You see where Midnight is on the map. He's going to recall here. He's just secured the Scuddler, but might be looking for a mid gank as well.
Yeah, but Egg is already down here as well, and this is a really good look for them.
God, Anna.
Yeah, he doesn't have the flash, but
he'll be okay.
Yeah, but this should be really good. I wish Egg would go for the gank here. You see that Primal Instinct is pushed up pretty far, so this should be relatively easy. You just wrap around, and worst case, you just get a summoner or two. Best case, you get the kill.
Yeah. Maybe a bit of hesitation in going to that bot lane after how rough it was in game 1. Barbie getting aggressed on by Guifer. Does pop the W, looking for that lifesteal. Flash comes through, and the basic at range connects. Barbie goes down. 0-2 now is this Olaf up in top.
Yeah, and that all stemmed from that early game, from that gank. Just being able to burn that flash meant Barbie wasn't able to get away from Griefer, and was immediately able to hit him with the passive, getting that proc off, and doing it solo nonetheless. This spells a little bit of misfortune for the side of Pip. Normally the Olaf is a really strong pick on Barbie, but it looks like that Nebula got the answer.
Yeah, Sheen already up for Guifer, so those basics are going to be hitting a little bit harder. How severe of a problem is it, though, for Barbie to be falling behind on this Olaf, right? Because he's a
it's pretty
fighter.
bad. You don't want to have a melee fighter like that going behind, especially as you go into the mid game. So he's got a little bit of time to fix it, but he's 2 levels down. He's being pushed away. He has no CS advantage.
He's still willing to take these fights too, but he's got to be careful. Egg is here in the area. He's gonna be able to find a good rotation here. Ultimate comes out from Guifer, and there's just the kill from Ek onto Olaf. Banana answered back in the mid lane. Turtle makes a rotation up that way. Force the pop blossom, but that shield's not going to keep him alive for long. Barbie 0-3, but Primal Instinct finding an answer back.
Yeah, and they're also securing that first dragon, which is good for them, being able to get that early stack going. And yes, wow, Pip did get that kill onto Banana. It went over to Turtle. So the gold lead isn't going to be as significant for Harry going into this.
He's actually jumping right on in. He better find a way out. Flay pulls him back, knocked back further by Midnight. Death Sentence connects onto Banana. Trying to find a way out, but these rocks are gonna blow in just a moment here. So low, but still alive. Here comes the crystal arrow, but it connects onto Ek in the jungle at the Raptors, and Midnight wants to keep this fight going. Flay connects. Still low, but Midnight is burning down faster. 91 in the area, shuts down Ek. Sejuani finally falls. Some Freljord violence for you there.
Yeah, and the true queen of the Freljord won it out with Nutty getting the shutdown onto Egg. Really good for the Ashe to get a little ahead there, already having the CS advantage, able to get that first rotation up. It looks like Nutty One is just starting to gap Dallas here in this lane again, even though it's a different matchup, and this is the second game of Varus for Dallas. He's just not seem to be doing as well. And it also is unfortunate that they were also baited by Yua, forcing a play there without any vision.
Yeah, was a little bit aggressive from Ua on that one. Doesn't end up paying for it with his life, but he paid for it with his jungler's life on that one. Now, we're going to look at this bot lane for just a second here. About a 10 CS difference. Some vision wards on the way of Dallas. Wasn't level 6 when 91 was, so wasn't able to make that same rotation. Is that a sign of a losing lane, or is that just pretty manageable? You can deal with that. He's just going to stay there for a little bit and get relevant.
I think it's difficult because the Rakan's roaming and getting nothing with these roams. So it's really bad. That was fantastic.
Hey, Midnight, he's still watching. He's still coming in, but Ek is also here. Barbie too low to help out. Big ult comes out from Ek, forces the onslaught from Midnight as well. Ults for ults in the top lane. More used from Nebula than Pip, though. Barbie's low, but is that a problem for this Olaf?
No, it's not. He's got his Ragnarok still. He's got his summoners, and Midnight is staying there.
There's the shield, looking for the slow. Here comes Midnight. Pushed back, but oh no, this is not taking you to safety. It's taking you further into the danger zone. Wasn't able to secure the stun on the wall. That means Griefer is gonna fall. Herald picked up in response. It is secured by the side of Nebula. Oh no, the crystal arrow connects! Haruki! Banana, I'm sorry, is just very dead here. Wait! What?
Outplay? Wait, that was amazing.
Oh, you gotta go mastery flash for that least.
Yeah, no, extreme outplay there. Kind of tilting if you were the Hecarim on the side of that. Just because how low Banana was and you just couldn't secure it. Hopefully their mental isn't too disturbed by that, but
I would be. I'm mauling.
Yeah, that's really good for Nebula. They secured the rift. They got the outplay. You're making Midnight not look comfortable in this game, which is phenomenal for them if that's what in order to keep this game going.
They still have to take it all the way, though. We saw some bright spots for Nebula in Game 1. Still weren't able to quite secure things. You take a look at the game overall. It's still dead even, right? Nebula up 2 kills, but they lost the dragon. Gold lead doesn't really exist anywhere right now. And so you gotta wonder, what are you getting with those kills? What is Nebula doing with what they've gotten so far? Now Barbie looking for yet another fight. Ragnarok is gonna run out, get stunned down. He's comboed into a wall. Dead is the Viking.
Maybe Barbie and Griefer should switch names. But it looks like, I mean, Nebula was able to turn one of those kills into the Rift Herald, which was really good. They are changing around. What I don't like is that the Rakan is roaming a lot, and it's punishing Dallas.
Oh, what a lantern! Nutty One takes it straight to safety. Box doesn't quite connect, but here comes Midnight. The Crystal Arrow definitely did its job. Veered back into danger is Ek. And Nutty One puts him down. The walls come through as Haruki joins the fray, and it's a double kill now for the ADC. Nebula looking to try to respond, pushing Primal Instinct back. They haven't gotten an actual answer down here. It's a 2-0.
Yeah. Just an immediate answer. Wild Turtle with the outplay right there, stopping
Wild
the
Turtle's
entire
here.
engage. Not Wild Turtle. I said that last week too. I'm sorry.
We're gonna say it again this week too. I'm pretty sure it's intentional.
Turtle has been playing wild with these outplays, doing very well. So making sure that Nutty One is not dying. And like I was saying, like, Uwa is not getting anything with these roams, and now Dallas is behind. Because he's behind, he wasn't really effective in that team fight. They didn't have the lockdown. They didn't even place one of the wards they had onto the lantern to stop him from grabbing it. A lot of these, like, small mistakes are starting to add up, and while the gold is still even, the advantages on the bot side are going to start to outweigh the advantages they have going on the top side. Because the Poppy is not going to carry you to the victory screen.
Right. It's good pressure. Hang on here in the mid lane. Uwa, once again, a little bit of danger. Does dash over the wall, but Turtle is still here. Throws the lantern out. Make sure Nutty One can stay on it. Slows come through. He's dead. Barbie, once again, in some danger here. Pops the Ragnarok trying to just stall, but not a lot he can do there. Banana finds the kill. Tier 1 goes down. Mid lane, though, some plating's going down. This looks a little bit more valuable for Nebula.
Yeah, especially if they're able to secure this inner turret too. It's an extra 600 gold onto Banana. This is absolutely worth it for Nebula. Just trading 2 plates. A shame Uwa was caught out there because he was just alone again. A lot of the issues he had in game 1 are still running.
Reaper comes on in, hits Nutty One into a wall. That's the shutdown for Dallas. He said, "Gap this."
Beautiful keeper's verdict, and the fact that it went on to Dallas is like chef's kiss. Because like that's who needs it. He needs to get back into this game, and like beautiful. Nebula is starting to build this gold lead. Turtle not landing as many hooks as he was in game 1. And we see A coming in again in the top side, maybe looking for another flank.
I think he's just gonna settle for resetting here. I think that's the right call. Just slow down. Been a lot of action, lots of stuff happening. Still, I hate to talk so much about gold, right, Davi? Because it doesn't tell the full story. It doesn't show you where the pressure is on everything.
Right.
But you look at the game state, 8-6. Herald's been dropped in top lane, 2 towers down. And it's like 1,000 gold lead? Over 5 people? That's not a lot. That's not even tier 1 item when you divide it over everyone like that.
And the majority of that lead's just in the top side of the map.
Yeah.
Like it's I believe Griefer is ahead of Barbie by 2,000 and Nutty is ahead of Dallas by 1,000 even after that shutdown. So like even behind and Nutty not being on the map, he was still ahead of Dallas. But Barbie being down, like this is best case Nebula Barbie not being useful in this game whatsoever. Not going to be able to get into the backside because he's got no items. He's not going to survive anything.
Oh man, Stasis comes out, but it's not going to save anybody on that one. Box not able to slow anyone down long enough. Teleport from Guifer. Secures a kill onto Turtle here in the mid lane.
Yeah, and then Nutty One having to use his enchanted arrow just to stop the re-engage from happening because they were just really caught out there.
Well, looking once again at this Herald, there is still some presence here from Purple Instinct, but wise from them. Step away. The 5v4 never favors the 4.
Be careful.
Aren't even gonna pick up a tier 1 tower in mid for? They haven't really gotten anything. No trades whatsoever.
Yeah.
Just a kill and objective going the way of Nebula. And that's where things start to build up into an actual lead. Now, pushing forward just a little bit. This is before they've even used the Herald. It hasn't been dropped down just yet. They've reset. Got plenty of options for that. Mid, still standing. Bot lane, still an option for them as well. Gotta expect it's going mid though, right?
I would definitely expect this going mid. Do you want to be able to build this pressure, get this wave control? You don't have any damage on that mid lane turret, but just being able to apply this pressure as that dragon spawns. Barbie resetting right now is probably not the right answer.
He's canceled that. He's on his way up here. Herald connects onto tower. Nothing done just yet. Ultimate's all available. Flash comes through, but Turtle doesn't quite land that death sentence. Rocket Belt used evasively from Banana.
Yeah, if I'm Pip, I'm going to be trying... Ooh, that's a great use of the W there. But, like, I would just try and trade this dragon for that tower, and instead they went for the pick onto Holy Banana, and now they can be caught out here from the side.
Ua has Charm Haruki, forces the flash. Haruki in a very bad spot, pushed into a wall, but out of the Pop Blossom, takes the Lantern over to Turtle. He's alive for now. A little bit of a miscommunication there from TA Nebula.
Yeah, Ua went a little too far on that W. Yes, he got the secure charm. It just didn't like land, so the CC was a little bit lost there, and we're not placing down wards on top of these lanterns. But it doesn't matter. Dallas showed out that Nutty One isn't the only sniper on this map. Getting that kill on Haruki, very well done, securing that tower.
So, you know, we've said, Dobby, that Poppy isn't going to carry this game. But Poppy is doing a lot of damage right now. Guifer is still hunting for Midnight. I may have cast his curse here, but goes right in onto Midnight. Gets the big kill there. 400 gold. Now being chased down by Barbie. 91 also in the area. As finally a kill onto Guifer. Took 3 people for it.
Yeah, he got the kill, which was good, but he turned over his own death. Not exactly worth it there, especially because you're applying so much pressure. Now that you're off the map, Barbie has the ability to get this tower topside. It seems to be a lot of the standing gold is now starting to go the way side of Pip, just from that small mistake.
I have to see how much of that standing gold they can collect. There's one tower down, tier 1 up in top. Tier 1s have fallen across the board for Nebula at this point. Now you look at these lanes and the map pressure, it really is just Guifer who's able to rotate freely, because tier 1s are standing in mid and bot side for Primal Instinct. And so this limits a lot of where Nebula can actually go on this map right now.
Yeah, it like vision control is the name of the game at this point, but Ua needs not to go alone. He needs that jungle support. But right now, Egg is going for those minions, trying not to be behind. He's down 50 CS here, and he doesn't want to fall behind. So he's just trying to clear out as much as he can while applying pressure. But like on the side of Nebula, like all I think about doing is getting on the nutty one, and then all the damage is gone because there's nothing on Olaf that Olaf can do to get to you. He's weak. You shred right through him.
Yeah, he's only got the Ravenous online right now. Still working on a second item. Glacial Prison doesn't quite connect. It finds the slow, but no stun. Here comes the quickness, though. Ooh-ah. He said it, and it's happened. They go right on to Nutty One. Put him down. Pop Blossom comes through. Turtle dangerously low, but pulled back. His banana. Haruki finds one more, an answer. Haruki has been consistent on this Talia, finding great damage. Now Midnight looking for a great flank as well. For Uwa, not quite able to put him down just yet. Turtle somehow still alive, finally burns down, but Midnight has led an onslaught of fear straight into 3 members. It's a triple kill for the horse.
Yeah, and Dallas auto-attacked the tower there instead of finishing the kill, having to make sure he uses hail thorns onto the thresh to secure it instead of slowing down the charging Hecarim. Just a really small misplay there, but it looks like Griefer is trying to answer.
And here comes the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Does connect, and a lot of damage being put right back into Griefer now. Has to be very careful. Dash comes in onto the minion just to close the distance. Griefer cleans it up.
Yeah, that is extremely clean play by him, knowing the limits and the power of the champion with those item spikes. Just really well done by Griefer there. But it just doesn't seem to be going the way of Nebula anymore. The gold is...
Oh boy. Oh. Turtle! You can't just do that to him, man!
But to Nebula's credit, that's the first time they tried to ward stop that lantern. Just little late onto it, just because of the distance of the engage.
Wow.
But
an eye on this river here. Multiple members, Primal Instinct. Death Sentence over the wall are just constantly connecting due to this ward. Arby just making sure they keep their vision up in this bush here. We got this dragon. It's already being started. It's being burned down very quickly. Secured by Nebula. But what about the fight afterwards? Pop Blossom finds some massive value, but they're still alive somehow. And Haruki is the first one to answer back. Members falling. 2 down for the side of Nebula already, and the chase is on. Turtle takes the death sentence straight into the danger zone, but it's not a danger zone for him. It's a death sentence for all of Nebula.
Yeah, really good job there from Pip, being able to recognize their engaged potential on the trigger that they needed to utilize for it. Banana was able to get that 4-man Pop Blossom, but Barbie was on the backside harassing Dallas, and without that follow-up damage, no one else was killed on the side of Pip, and everyone else was given freely, including this Baron, to them. So just a little misplay there, but still overall, like the potential's still there. You're not so far behind like you were in game 1. You still have the ability to do this. You have the Pop Blossom. You can get onto these backline carries. You just need to see you get to that like 3rd item spike.
Things are looking so rough right now. His Nebula were slowly but surely beginning to take control of the game. But it was this standing gold that you were mentioning. It just wasn't being taken down as they weren't getting a significant lead. I think the biggest one they had was about 2,000. But after just a quick couple fights, really just the one fight, he's had a dragon going the way of Nebula. It is actually Primal Instinct Purple. Win a fight, take Baron, push themselves far ahead in the gold department because they've just been stripping these towers away constantly. They're not leaving gold on the map. They're taking it wherever they can get it. And that feels like the major difference maker in this game so far.
Yeah, and then Nebula put a lot of pressure on the top side, trying to get this Poppy ahead and keeping that Olaf behind, but that is completely null and void now.
Yeah.
With Olaf having a shutdown bounty on himself, due to how well that these team fights have been going, and he's been navigating them very well.
Yeah. It's been a tricky minefield, both sides so far. But Primal Instinct has tread carefully, stepped smart. They put themselves in a leading position here. Now, 25, almost 26 minutes into this game. Baron buff strong on 5 members. Sweeping down to take out these last few towers. No more tier 2s standing in the lanes. Top lane going down right about now. Now we're looking at a base siege. We're looking towards inhibitor towers. Inhibitors themselves. And these Baron enhanced minions. This is a tough defense.
Yeah, it's very hard to get onto those Baron empowered minions, especially those cannons. But if Nebula wants to survive this, they're gonna have to look at engaging soon. You can't just give up your base for free.
No, they're not gonna have too many choices. Uwa ends up on the wrong side of that wall. Haruki has just decided that this tower is gonna fall. Without an ability to get over that, there's just no way that inhibitor tower stays standing. Still dealing with this mid as well. Barbie taking some damage, but you can't. Well, this Olaf out just because he's been poked. He's got so much survivability.
Yeah, and it's hard to notice there, but Uwa used the quickness already.
He's posting it. He's Ragnarok. He wants it, but he's getting shut down. Midnight comes in, but he's so far separated from his team. This is sloppy. What's happening? 91 putting some damage out, but they haven't been able to secure a kill for themselves. And still, this mid inhibitor is standing strong. Death Sentence does connect, and finally they find one. Holy banana goes down. Call him a split. I don't know if this is super worth.
That death sentence made it worth. And they only went in because Uwa burned the quickness and caught nothing off of it. Oh
my god, Uwa!
Again.
Dallas! Bro, what is happening right now?
Bro.
Weaver is just in there by himself. This is the 3rd death sentence in a row that he's landed. Give him the sad beaks. He knows he's dead. Kept Haruki alive for now, but for how much longer? Weaver can't quite get in, but the stun is good onto Haruki. Lots of damage being put out. Flash is good. And that's actually going to get him out. Haruki still survives.
Man, Nebula just walked in right after, in a straight line for Turtle to land those death sentences. It's just like, shame on you. Like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. But like, fool you thrice, you're struck out, man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You gotta stop. He got 3 in a row right there in the same like 5-second span, just to how short that cooldown was. And completely decimated Nebula's chance at a fight back, where they had the advantage, where they could have gotten that dragon, be on Soul Point. Instead, now they're just fighting for their lives around the inhibitor. But with Baron spawning in the next minute, I see that they have 2 options. They either have to fight for it or just let Pip have it and then just have a slow death. But I think Nebula might try to set something up. They have a lot of lockdown potential, but they're just so far behind. I don't see them getting through Barbie and Turtle to get onto Nutty One.
So, I want to ask you a question here, Dobby.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Barbie is like, as in the name Barbie, or do you think it's more like Barbarian or Barbados?
I think he's making fun of Australian people because strip on the Barbie. That's what I'm thinking.
God. We'll see. Oh my god, Egg just going right on in. Throws the Glacial Prison. Pop Blossom follows up, but there's no damage to secure these kills. The Onslaught of Shadows breaks it all up. Somehow he's still alive, but Midnight will finally fall. Dallas getting knocked into the danger zone. Haruki puts him down. Throw another rock or two. And that still trying to finish one off. He is the only one left alive on this team. Over the wall comes Haruki, but have you been off too much? No, sir! Haruki survives that one. No lanterns. Back to base. No, not even back to base. TP down to the other base. And finish this one up. That makes it 2-0. Favoring Primal Instinct purple in this 5-game set.
The worst part about that last team fight for Nebula is they lost the 4v5.
Yeah.
Barbie, not even there. He was down under, just in the bot lane, running it through, and they like he couldn't win the 4v5. I think there was some build pathing that was questionable, and the fact that like Thresh was able to he got the redemption, he got the locket, he's able to help his team survive the burst. Like it really is a support gap here in both these games.
I mean, Turtle just doesn't miss, man. Like, so many death sentences just coming out. If I don't see a respect ban on this Thresh in game 3, I'm sorry, but Nebula is trolling at that point. Turtle is way too consistent with these. And frankly, Nebula's not playing around it very well. They're walking into death sentences. They're allowing themselves to be caught out. And Turtle just keeps needing to feed more and more people to the meat grinder that is Primal Instinct.
I don't know how they go about it. Maybe they just pick the Thresh for themselves, but then we'll finally get to see Turtle on something different. But I'm really excited to see Pip win because they've just been dominating these 2 games, and it doesn't look like Nebula knows what to do here.
Well, only one way to find out. They've got 2 under their belt. This is a best of 5. They have to make it all the way to 3. Nebula is not out of the danger zone just yet. They've still got time to come back, push back into Primal Instinct, and try to make a reverse sweep here. It's going to be a tough one. We'll see what they can do. Take it to a break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the Dominate playoffs, the finals here today. We're heading into game 3, picks and bans. This could be the game that ends up being the final nail in Nebula's coffin, or it could be the start of their comeback story. Primal Instinct Purple currently leads 2-0 in this set so far. Spooky and Dobby here to watch how this one breaks down. Already through these bans, and I'm noticing no Thresh taken off the board.
No, but the respect to Haruki's tally is definitely there. Maybe Tan have a strategy in place to grab the Thresh, denying it away from Turtle. If the Kais is banned out here, that means the Tristana's open. That should be something that should be thought about being picked up too as well.
They're in their minds.
The Nico is left open.
Oh,
There we go.
imagine if they get Thresh and Nico.
Well, then we
Haruki
would
on
know
the
where the
Nico.
Nico's going, and that negates the power of the
Just
pick.
overall. Overall in the draft, they end up
okay.
with both.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we shall see. But right now, Turtle really good on it. Haruki showed proficiency on it as well. And it does pair well with the Ezreal, so it's still open to flex either way. Anything to give them a more favorable matchup is what I see happening here. But since they are red side, they will have the counter pick, so maybe it is going into the bot to give them any sort of mage matchup in Haruki's favor.
I'll be honest, I really want to see Haruki on the Nico just so we get another game of Turtle Thresh. It's just been so good so far. And Draven?
Well,
Okay.
it looks like the Tristana's going to go mid here.
Or they're trolling. Maybe they're just trolling us right now, as they do so enjoy doing.
Tristana mid's a thing. It looks like they're trying to go for double hyper carry, so Nebula is going to want to scale and just survive. And if they can get ahead early on those champions, they might be able to snowball their way into game 4 and start
Roto
the
squad?
reverse sweep. Poppy, really good pickup. A lot of power in that. A lot of power in that champion. Showed very well into it. Beat down Barbie pretty good.
Yeah.
Just was unable to carry. And that was the downfall of the. That was the story of top lane, right? Like,
let's be real though, right?
win lane, lose
a
game.
lot of Gweaver success came from Ek ganking that lane like 3 times on repeat, right? So
Yeah.
maybe we don't give him quite as much credit, but he did still do very well up in that lane. Like you say, he took the fight to Barbie. Actually, Barbie was trying to take the fight to him a lot. Didn't really work out. Jax being the lock-in here, Primal Instinct Purple. Could be top, could be jungle. Well, where are you feeling this Jax at?
I think the Jax is just going to stick with the top side of the map. There's no real reason to force him anywhere outside of it. You just get rid of things that you don't want to play against into it. The Milio is still a good ban. I don't think so. I think if you wanted a Milio in your game, you should just pick Renata. The Milio buffs have not gone through. It's still a bad champion.
I love Milio.
Wait for the buffs.
Man, this Singed ban, once again, still leaving open the possibility that this Poppy is taken to the jungle by Ek rather than going back to top lane. I mean, I'm not sure which I'd prefer. Weaver looked really good on it, but he was also extremely limited on where he could go. I feel like putting it in the jungle might give them more success just because it's able to impact so much more of the map.
I think Griefer's been spamming Poppy, so I don't think it's going
Probably
anywhere
go
but
with
the top side of the map.
Oh.
And the Talon locked in, so it looks like a Talon jungle here.
Could be Talon mid.
It could be. But I just leaving up, just picking your mid, letting them have counter for free, uh, doesn't seem to be in Pip's wheelhouse here.
They
Jinx,
see where the
Nami,
mid laner is. Tristana's like, wait, what?
Nefiri.
Nefiri. So Nefiri jungle Poppy top.
Uh,
Karthus jungle. How about that one? How about
there we
Karthus
go.
jungle instead?
Because if picking Nefiri would have been troll just because it would have been all AD. It looks like Turtle going for another hook champion.
But Thresh is open.
Yeah, but there's a lot. It's more pick centric if they just go with the Blitzcrank. Um, and there's a lot of follow up potential with the Thresh. So like you're not gonna get away as easily by playing Thresh and lancering him out because there's so much movement speed and abilities to catch up to it. So bursting instead of saving seems a little bit better.
Well, here are the two drafts. Blitzcrank support. Likely Haruki taking Nico into that mid lane. Talon going to the jungle. We haven't seen much Talon recently. This is a little bit of a newer one. I don't think I've seen either of these teams play them throughout the playoffs. So talk to me a little bit about this pick, especially going into this Karthus.
Well, the talent is just going to be hyper mobile, running in and out of the jungle as fast as possible. Um, and I believe will do very well into early game Karthus. But once Karthus hits 6, like he wants to fight, he wants to die, he wants to be able to do a lot of zoning, controlling, and the Talon as a melee champion has to go into Karthus's range. And even though you pop your ultimate and you're invisible, you're still taking the damage from his defile. So you're getting hurt no matter what. I think this is really good, but I think there's a lot of potential with the Karthus. But if Karthus is behind at any point in this game, and that should be Pip's priority, then there's not an AP threat. And that means you're free to build more armor centric items on the side of Primal Instinct, and you're going to be able to survive everything going forward in this game. So Tan has to survive, get to late game, get those item spikes, but they just haven't been cohesive at any time this point in the series. So it it's going to be very difficult for them to execute.
Yeah, late game scaling, I would not say has been one of Nebula's strong points about this set so far. They have some good moments in the early game, some good moments in the mid game. Generally, when we start reaching that later game point, it's just been Primal Instinct taking over fights, taking over objectives, stripping all the gold off the map, just not leaving anything for Nebula to really find there. So my concern now is Nebula committing to this late game scaling draft because yes, you've gotten there a couple times and then let it spiral. But how are you going to keep yourselves ahead in the early game now that's committing to the late?
Well, you're gonna have to work very hard at it, and you're gonna have to make sure you have the fancy feet. Um, the Nami and the Karthus are gonna be slow movers, and those are gonna be prime targets for Blitzcrank. He was just there to pick you out and burst you around, and I haven't seen Ua do very well with the champions he's had so far. So hopefully switching up to an enchanter will do better for him, but I don't think it pairs well with the Jinx. So it seems to be a little mismatch of champions here.
Right.
Like I would say that Pip did outdraft them in this game, and it's going to be very difficult for Nebula to answer.
Well, we have Haruki back on the Nico, which we've seen time and time again. He's very proficient with this champion. Taking it against Tristana, followed by Holy Banana here in the mid lane. What do you expect to see in that matchup? Obviously, Banana's probably going to end up pushing forward a little bit just because he's Tristana. How's the actual lane look?
Well, the Tristana is going to do a lot of damage for the explosives from the passive. Just getting that push in, which is what you're going to need to, because you want to keep that Nico from roaming. So it does look like it'll be a decent matchup. You can rocket jump away from a lot of the Nico damage as well, even the pop blossom when it comes in, or you can Buster Shot her away. This does seem to be Tristana favored. It's just that Nico offers so much team fight potential that it's worth having this subpar matchup just to have for the team.
Oh, lots of questions remain on the board, but the biggest one of them all, I think, Dobby, is this a 3-0 set? Obviously, Primal Instinct wants the ad answer to be a very loud and confident yes. Nebula, though, it's their last chance to change this story, put a different spin on things. We'll see what they can do. We'll see if they can dig deep enough to find themselves a success here in game number 3, right after the break. down to the wire now. Is this set? 2-0, led by Primal Instinct. Spooky and Dobby here to take everyone through it. Dobby, we can say it as many times as we want, but I don't think anyone feels the pressure of this game more than Nebula does right now.
Yeah, Nebula has got a mountain to climb, and they haven't even made it to base camp yet. It's pretty difficult to see how they're going to turn this around. But Karthus has a lot of DPS potential. You have the hyper carries in the front line to do it. You've got a more supportive, a more supportive support, right? And you have the potential. And what they do with it is what we're going to find out here as we start going into it.
This has been a pretty standard game for both sides so far. And by that I mean both of them have pretty much played the same game every time. Look at Primal Instinct Purple, see their draft, they're looking for picks. They want to find anyone they can catch out. Barbie up here on Jax, split pushes just as well as the Olaf. It's been doing a lot of that this set. So you know what you're facing as Nebula. You know how this team is playing. It's just a matter of finding that answer and figuring out how to stop what you're playing against. And so far, they've really struggled to do that.
Yeah, they're not respecting the pick potential every time. Walking in, unwarded, no backup, it just wasn't pretty. Hopefully they've learned their lesson here. It'll be a little bit easier now. There's not going to be as much follow-up potential. It's literally just the Blitzcrank hook and a lot of others. Bonus damage, but
looking for the hook too. He does finally find Dallas. Probably not a kill just yet, but it's a lot of damage being put down. Actually, there's an Ignite burning. Not enough damage there. Look for one more shot. Nutty One better be careful. Has to burn that peel. Flash out as well. Dallas looking to turn this one around in the early game. Nutty One looks for it, but he's just given up the first blood. Nowhere to go. And this time, it is Dallas taking an early lead in this lane. Looking for Nebula to continue this lead. Ek coming on up, drops the wall of pain, turns on the Defile. Barbie has to flash away. Here comes the little Q. Nowhere for Barbie to go. Burns him down. 2-0. Boy, big flash avoids the stun. And now Midnight's already answering back. What is this? There's 4 kills on the board again, Dobby. We're not even 4 minutes in.
yeah, really good flash from Midnight there. If he gets caught, he dies. So being able to just like flash the bubble, get the double kill, really strong start for him. This is not what you want to see on Nebula's side, is a Talon ahead. But they are still able to answer kills. Egg doing what he needs to do, getting this pressure on the map, making sure that Griefer is able to facilitate in that top side of the map. It's just it just doesn't look like they're respecting it again. That was a terrible place to back. They could have made it all the way back to the tower, no problem.
Oh boy, Turtle getting active over here. Oh my god, pulls Banana right back after the rocket jump takes him over the wall. Flash over the wall as well, but the rocket jump resets off that detonate charge. Has a couple flashes burned. Holy Banana still gets to survive this one.
Yeah, really good play there from Banana, just being able to make sure that he's able to get that explosive charge completely popped so that he can use the rocket jump. And that's what allowed him to stay alive there. Other than that, like, Turtle, that was like the best you could do. It was a really strong play.
Jeez, top lane. Just two people beating each other near to death. Still not able to find the full kill though. Sheen doing so much work. Here comes Midnight, looking to catch Guifer, but gotta be careful of the dash as well. There is Keeper's presence, and bam! Midnight finds the third kill, not just for himself, but for the whole team, Every single kill for Instinct right now is on Midnight.
Yeah, and Midnight's shown that if he's the carry, he will make it happen. A 3-0 start on him. Already got his serrated dirt. This is not going to go well for them, especially if he gets in on any of these squishies, which is any of the carries, right?
Yeah.
So if he can burst down the Karthus before Karthus is able to do anything, it's a win. If he gets rid of one of the 2 hyper carries, it's a win. And he's so far ahead now that his passive is going to do like 300 damage in itself. So in this early, that's going to be devastating.
I mean, we talked about the squishies and the carries, but really there's only one tank on the side of Nebula. That is Guifer on the Poppy. Everyone else is a valid target to be plucked, to be jumped on. Banana got pulled by that? What? Has to burn the rocket jump again. That's insane.
Yeah, they did buff Blitzcrank pull range a couple of patches ago.
Hated that patch.
But it is a little misleading sometimes on the older skins. It just isn't coded a lot properly there. But like Turtle, every time there's an advantage in his lane, he goes out and tries to make an advantage somewhere else.
If there's one thing we can call Turtle, it is proactive. Man is looking for any and every opportunity to get something done on the map. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, but it'll never be for lack of trying. RB pops the ultimate, gets Keeper's Verdicted right on out of there. You can sit in your Grandmaster's Might all you like, but you're going to be wasting that time to get all the way back up to the lane.
Yeah, and all it really does is just buy time for Griefer. Make sure that he doesn't get all in and is going to be able to just like safely farm without that ultimate presence.
The dragon taken down as well for Primal Instinct. Chemtrek on board now. Chemtech Drake. Good lord. That'll be, I swear.
Somebody get this man a thesaurus.
A Thesaurus Rex. Oh boy, there is a trade in top lane. Weaver goes a little bit deep for it. Probably didn't need to. Oh, you did have the Requiem coming out from Mech, but by God, he did the work, and he's gonna get the kill himself.
I think without the Requiem, that Barbie would have lived there.
Yeah, definitely.
Just the Requiem, he would have lived. He needed Griefer to go all the way in. If the lane was more neutral, this would have been a lot better for Griefer, because he denied all of those minions. That wave that he missed when he died was denied to Barbie, while he himself isn't losing anything out of it. So it's a good 1-for-1 trade there in the top side for the side of Nebula, but you got to be careful because like the Karthus did get his first kill. He is going to be a little ahead. He's farming a little bit better than the Talon. Not affecting the map as much, but you can ult from anywhere.
Right.
Talon has to be in your face. But Talon just controlling the neutral objectives. While Karthus has secured most of his own jungle, he doesn't have the dragon. He's losing this first Rift Herald, and there's no priority in any of his lanes, so he can't even go and contest them. It seems to be really difficult for Nebula here in this game 3.
It feels like overall, Primal Instinct is just making better use of gold right now. Because we've talked about this so many times, how Nebula will be leading in some kills, but they'll be slightly behind in gold. The opposite is true here, right? Primal Instinct is ahead in kills, and they are ahead in the gold farm as well. So they're turning these kills into something. They're making use of it. They're collecting their farm, looking for some invades every now and then. We haven't had any major objectives go down other than the Herald and the Drake. But the way the map is being played right now, it's definitely Primal Instinct doing it a little bit better.
Yeah, and it's going to continue to go this way if they don't change the way they're playing. It doesn't look like Nebula wants to win. They're got the same strategy in all 3 games, and it's just to try and fight front to back. But They're never respecting the pick potential. They're always getting caught out. And they're just not marking targets well in these team fights.
Not on this mid lane as well. As the bot lane has shifted. Turtle's fishing for some hooks. You can see in the way he moves around this lane just how badly he wants to just launch that rocket fist out and pull someone. Now
And as
Midnight's
soon as he
also at
does,
those
Midnight's
camps.
right there.
Arby some trouble up top, but Requiem won't do the job. It will reveal a couple more members there all around that mid lane. Signal to the rest of the team to back off.
Yeah, they were able to get eyes on Midnight, stop them from dying under that turret, but really low.
Very low. Should still be safe for right now. Got 3 people in this mid lane. Weaver doing his best to try to answer back, take some platings up top. Tower shots won't bother him too much there. Arby is using the TP. Get right back to top lane. Likely fishing for some kind of kill up there, but won't be able to find a whole lot. All in all, this game has been some action, a little bit quiet. No one's really been able to find a big lead so far, but we're only 12 minutes in.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't a lead in terms of gold, right? Or like the team specific, right? But Midnight is overwhelmingly ahead of everyone else on this map. And as long as he's able to still affect it, he hasn't done anything in a while. So good on Nebula to stem the bleeding and do what they can to contain him, but Midnight has to continue to try for these advantages and keep pressuring these sideways and go for these squishies. Like, he doesn't need to go top ever.
Right.
But he needs to look for the angle for the assassination. Like, you have so much mobility, it shouldn't matter if they're under tower. You just need to get there.
Yeah. So far.
Especially because the Jinx and the Nami are just immobile. There's no flash on Karthus. It seems weird to be taking a back seat at this point, but...
Yeah, likely getting ready for this dragon now here. Like you said, they haven't really looked to push anything too hard. But if there isn't any contention at this dragon, that's just free benefits for Primal Instinct. And if there is anyone who tries to show up, oh my goodness, pulled right on in, rooted down. Tidal Wave comes through, but Haruki is not going to fall to that one. Turtle gets credit for that kill. And you know what? I think he's gotten a kill like every game so far. He's just getting some random kill credits.
It's always the first one, too. Like, the one his team needs most to start the snowball is the one he gets.
Yeah. But hey, he lands those, right? He hits everything he throws, so he's entitled to it, right?
Yeah, the fact that he lands that and Uwa's splash is still up.
Oh my goodness, Haruki's dead! Turtle, why weren't you taking that, man? All you had to do was take one tower shot!
That was actually really well done, because they also got the Jax out of it as well. And the fact that Dallas was able to get the kill secure does wonders. Even though, yes, you're not getting the Karthus, his spike faster, but you also need it on Jinx.
Yeah.
And Haruki
Dallas
was looking for the angle, so walking into the zap denied it from Egg.
Dallas finally gets some kill credit here on the board. Still pretty far down in the CS department. Around a 20 CS difference there, give or take. Actually, it's about 30 at this point. That's a lot easier math to do. But Midnight answers up top lane. Pull once again, this time onto Dallas. Nutty one. A lot of damage down, but has to burn the flash to avoid the stun. Somehow Dallas is just clinging to life by the skin of their teeth consistently.
Yeah. And the fact that he didn't lose his flash, but Nutty one did, made that entire exchange, like, very, very good for them.
Again, small trades up top. Real note here is Turtle making his way up. Midnight in the jungle, Nutty one also coming up in the jungle, likely getting ready to force this tower down. Reaper doesn't know that they're there just yet. He has no idea just how much danger he is in right now. Steadfast presence comes through. Target is Turtle, but he's still alive. Tower goes down. Super Mega Death Rocket from downtown. Puts one more down. Thumbs up from Turtle. Kill credit for Dallas. Tower and kill Primal Instinct.
Yeah, the trading 1-for-1 on the people there, very good. Let's see if the Tristana can get this tower though and make the trade worth it. But it looks like Barbie's pressuring that inner turret as well as Midnight going for that second Rift Herald. So like all these objectives up on the board and they're all going the way of Pip.
Yeah, it is a steadily growing gold lead for Primal Instinct right now. It's not severe just yet, but it is building up over time, pushing ever closer to 2,000 gold mark. Nutty one. Gonna stop X back. Turtle also here. Doesn't care about the wall of pain because he's gonna bring the pain straight to X. But now they're caught in the defile. The Requiem will be sung. Banana over the wall looking for Midnight, and he finds him. Turtle has to zoom on out. But Haruki is all the way back in safety. Barbie also making a rotation down, making sure Sport gets out.
And Tristana getting that shutdown is a big boon for them. Anything to get that hyper carry online faster. And it unfortunate turn for them. They thought they had the advantage. They were catching Nebula on their backs, but the power of the Karthus there, even in death, you're not going to survive.
Haruki throws out a decoy, eats yet another ult from Dallas there. Lots of decoys taking ults this game, or this set, I should say. But yeah, I mean, how do you deal with this Karthus at this point, right? Because Primal Instinct grouped up, found him on his back, pulled him, put him down, and immediately looked to disengage. We're not provided the opportunity, and we're forced to just sit in the damage.
Yeah, the best way to deal with that is just to avoid it. You can't really fight around him, and you shouldn't want to. But like he's gonna want to try and fight you. The disadvantage of having exhaust on Karthus is you're not going to be able to flash in and keep on a target. But it means this Talon isn't going to be able to burst him either. So as long as they're trying to fight Nebula around the Karthus, they have a really good chance of winning these team fights like they just did. But I mean, this dragon is all set up, and I think Turtle's just gonna get a hook, and it's gonna turn everything on its head, going Pip.
Mega Death Rocket gets intercepted by Turtle. Great position, and there's the hook you talked about. Boom, ooh-ah, on the grayscale, and it's a full disengage from Nebula. They have to try to run, but the Pop Blossom comes through, hits 3. You are afforded no quarter. Knock 2 away, but you have to deal with the rest of them, and they rip through. Midnight finds a double kill, and it's just Guifer left by himself, tries to push him in, but the tower does not offer you any sanctuary. Triple kill for the Talon.
And that's the second time Uwa has been caught up with his flash. What?
You know, sometimes we just don't use those. Where's he gonna go? He's in the middle of 4, or actually in the middle of 5. Knocked up, silenced. Too much CC. He just gets blasted down. Now he's got nothing really to offer here. Actually does manage to take down the Herald before it gets another hit in. Good for them. Still.
Yeah. The fact that he's just always caught out with his flash up is really what's detrimental to his team winning. Like Turtle's been playing Hook Champions this entire series. You're walking into him every time, and then you're just not respecting it in a team fight where you have no vision control, and they have that thing set up. You got to turn it around here. You're 5,000 gold behind. Next time you see that flash coming in a hook in your direction, flash. And then if you're able to flash, you can re-engage, because then the Blitzcrank is useless for 12 seconds. He has nothing.
Yeah.
And that's your opportunity to go for it. It just seems really weird to see the Summoner spell up and it not be utilized.
Have to see if they can clean things up a little bit. Reaction time Maybe not quite there on that one. Still some time to pull this one back. Lead is 5,000. 2v3 around this middle blue buff here. Not going to look for any significant fights just yet here. 91 has a little bit of aggressive positioning, but if you look at the map, where Midnight is, he's ready to intercept this and flank in. To the wall, Requiem used. That's a big ultimate that's just been expended for nothing.
Yeah, it's a shame too, because now if there's any type of team fight that becomes close, you're not going to have it available to you for at least the next minute and a half. And with the Baron up, these objective bounties and gold available to you, it's just going to be very difficult for you to get back into this game without having such a powerful ability.
And now, with gold 6,000, a lot harder to take these 5-on-5 fights. It's no longer even. A good lord! Midnight simply erases Ek from the game. This
They're
should be
going
straight to
for the Baron. Yeah, that's definitely a Baron. Egg is gone. The rest of the team's behind. They're just blowing this way out of the water right now. This is not as competitive as I thought it would be going into the finals.
Yeah, they've found their momentum right now. I mean, they've been playing these pick style compositions. This is the third game in a row now. They know how they want to execute on these. They've warmed up. They know what they're doing. It's just more of the same for them. And it's hard for Nebula because you've been losing against it. You're trying to find these answers, and if they aren't working, it wears down on the mental. It's tough to take these fights and keep seeing them go south. They can't give up hope just yet because they've had some very good ones in there. They've had some strong showings of potential. They just have to maybe group up a little bit more.
The players themselves are doing really well, and one of the downfalls of casting is when you see it in the game, it's always the player this and player that, but like there's a coach who was like, yeah, this is what you should play, and like that guy carries just as much blame here for Nebula's losses, because it just doesn't look like he understands what Pip was trying to do either.
See, they can pull things back here. Sweeper. Gonna charge in here. Turtle and Nutty One are targets, but I don't think they know that Midnight is here just yet. Does walk over ward, give some of it away, but keep an eye down on the bot lane. Barbie is pushing while the rest of Nebula is on this Infernal Drake. Sure, you got yourself a bounty, you got yourself a dragon, but you've lost your inhibitor in bot lane, lost it in mid lane. This base is broken.
Yeah, this I don't think that's a worthwhile trade. 2 inhibitors for a dragon and its bounty. Yeah, you denied the soul, but they didn't even care. They're like, oh, you want the dragon? Psh, whatever, it's your first one. Like, we have all these to offer you, because they're Primal Instinct just has so much control of this map. Like, there's just almost nothing that Nebula can do to answer it. And just like even looking at like the vision difference, like there is no vision coming out from the side of Nebula as well. It seems really weird to see that there's nothing to look at.
Vision score 53 for Turtle, 32 for Uwa. Not getting quite as much down, not taking out quite as many wards. It's tough. They've been put into a tough position, and now, almost 25 minutes into the game, they find themselves at their last bastion of safety under this inhibitor next to their tower, up in the top lane. And it's being chunked down. Turtle flashes, doesn't find any hook there. The Midnight is pulling Guifer away from the defense. That's where he really needs to be. He needs to be up on that tower with the rest of his team. Otherwise, how do they frontline anything?
Well, they're not going to be able to. The only way that they can survive any type of front line, any type of engagement coming from Primal Instinct at this point is through is just exhausting Midnight, because that's all the gold difference. That's largely a lot of the damage as well.
Oh my god. Baron finally drops off of Primal Instinct, but they are not relenting on this pressure. The Baron may be gone, but the siege is not. Nebula has no minions pushing anywhere. They're all dying in base. Requiem comes out. It's just poking at this point. Weaver gets rooted down, eats half his health bar in damage. I mean, you've done well to keep this tower alive for this long, but eventually something's got to give. It breaks right there.
Yeah, but
oh my god.
You got the
Exhausted nothing. It did nothing, but that's 1,000 gold shutdown for Nutty One. And he gets out with his life as well. It's not enough. It's not enough to turn this game, but it's something. It's some kind of win. And it finally, Holy Banana gets something.
If anything, that just bought them some time. Let's see how much they're going to be able to farm up of these inhibitor turrets with these super minions. But, like, yes, there's this influx of gold coming your way, but you just have no ability to leave your base at this point. You have both teleports on the side of Primal Instinct up, and if at any moment you leave your base, they're going to be able to teleport in and win the game.
This is the most frustrating position to be in. Because you look at the map and you know, I should be doing something out there. I should be doing something on this map. But you look at your base and you know in your heart, like, there's nothing that I can do on this map right now. It's all defense. The objectives on the map don't exist for you. The camps don't exist for you. They all belong to Primal Instinct right now.
Mm-hmm.
And all Nebula can do is try to hold the line until these inhibitors come back up. That's where things start getting dicey. Baron in 20 seconds. Things are looking grim for Nebula right now.
Yeah, but Nebula has got the entire, not Nebula, Primal Instinct's got the entire top side of the map lit up, able to see everything. So Nebula has no ability to go and walk through their own numbers.
What? Anyone gets locked down here. Dallas gets the kill. Teleport coming in from Barbie, trying to join in. Oh, pulled over the wall though is Guifer, and he is gone. That's the only frontliner. No tanks left. Have to flash away from Barbie as he comes in. Dallas trying to put some shots back down range. But Midnight just has so much damage. The Wraith has become a ghost. Be fading to the gray screen. Consider this an exorcism. Primal Instinct is full control.
And Midnight just being able to delete him straight before the dragon spawns up, securing his team with Soul there. Could easily translate this into a reset and grabbing the Baron. They're just so far ahead at this point, and it's just looking like clean macro play from the side of them. Like, they're pushing the waves, they're getting the towers, they got the inhibitors, they're fighting around their picks very well, and they're securing all the objectives. It seems very difficult for them to do anything moving forward.
I mean, their options have become extraordinarily limited at this point, right? There's nowhere they can safely travel on this map. They have their base, and even that doesn't feel like the safest thing in the world at this point. Baron being melted down, shredded. That's just one more objective now for Primal Instinct Purple. Dragon Soul, Baron buff, almost 10,000 gold. This is a 99%er, Dobby. You are relying, as Nebula, on Primal Instinct making mistakes if you want back into this.
Yeah, there's only one thing that can happen here, and that's if Pip just decides to run it into the Nexus just to keep the game going longer. And I don't think they want that. I think they want the championship title, and I think they want their prize pool.
Oh, Dallas dead. Nutty One gets the kill. Pop Blossom does so much work, and just like that, the defense for Nebula has been shattered. Weaver tries to put something up, but there's just so little that he can do at this point. And with a full ace at the 30-minute mark, Primal Instinct Purple are the champions of Dominate.
Yep. Not the closest series, but still the strongest of games coming from Pip, showing to everyone that they deserve to be titled champion.
They earned their spot here in the championship today. Fought their way through playoffs. Had some struggles here and there, but this was, by all counts, clean gameplay from them.
Yeah, and a great season to them as that as well. And there's just only one more thing left to do, and that's the interview.
That is the interview. That does it for the gameplay, but you don't have to worry. It's not over for everything just yet. We'll be at a short break, but we'll be right back. Post-game interview. Welcome back, everybody. We promise you more content, and we are men of our words. We always follow through. Here with the post-game interview, none other than one person we've talked quite a bit about this set, and one person that maybe we should have talked a little bit more about. Got Turtle, support from Primal Instinct, and speculative head coach for Primal Instinct. Congratulations. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. What about you, Spec?
Yeah, I feel fucking great. Oh, I'm not allowed to say that, am I?
Nope. No.
Sorry, that was sad.
Nope. You get one. You get one free pass.
Okay, cool. I mean, I put this roster together. When I put this roster together, I just knew. Like, everyone here works so well together. It was a pleasure to work with everyone. I honestly think I couldn't have expected better, honestly.
Well, that's great to hear. How did you guys, since the season's over and there's no more secrets to be kept, how did you guys prepare for this, the finals?
So, I mean, for most of our scrims, we just meet like an hour before and we just talk about the enemy team, bans, stuff like that we want to look at. Usually our analyst compiles all of the enemies, picks, and bans throughout the season, and we just do that kind of stuff.
And was there anything that stuck out to you that you're like, oh, we need an answer for this? And
really the only thing we've banned, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but literally every single match we've played, we've banned Maokai. We hate playing against that champ, and we don't have much practice in scrims because we also banned it in scrims.
No, our
So
has an ego, so he doesn't play tanks.
that's another reason, yeah. I mean, yeah, our analyst is just too good at drafting, honestly.
Yeah, and it looks like you guys were really, really good at running pick comps here. And it seems like Nebula was really good at running into them.
I mean, when you have WH Turtle on your team, it's pretty hard to not run into them, honestly.
You too, Tom.
That's fair. That's fair. They did just eat hook after hook after hook, and it was exciting to watch from our standpoint, but probably also frustrating from their side of the view. Was there anything that had you guys worried? Because it looked like they were able to fight back a couple of times and make it close at the beginning of those games.
I mean, me watching that, I wasn't worried. That's more of a turtle question.
Yeah, no, I wasn't worried. We had lead spot the first 2 games pretty hard. Game 3, we flipped it a little bit early and it didn't really work out. But I did my best to try to just move around the map and help everybody on the team. There were some talks in Game 3 because they had a pretty good scaling comp that like, guys, we gotta end, guys, we gotta end. But they didn't contest us at Baron. They didn't really contest us at any of the dragons, so yeah, we weren't too worried.
Okay, right on. Well, what are you guys planning on doing with this off season? Are you guys gonna come back again for the Risen Fall?
We're still trying to figure that kind of stuff out. As of right now, we actually have a slightly modified roster playing in AML, which is another league. That's about it. That's what we're doing for
Yeah, and we're 4-0 there too, so
looking good.
Well, that's great. Is there anything you want to give out there? Any shout outs?
I mean, Pogo's is just way too good at draft. That's the main thing I want to shout out. Our staff at Primal is also awesome. Cal and Bjorn have been great to work with. This is actually my first season coaching, so I was very lucky to have all the staff around me.
I have a couple if you don't mind. I might take a minute. First of all, Spec, I didn't know if you knew this, but this was the first championship that Primal's won. I didn't know that.
Really? I didn't know that either.
Yeah, somebody just tagged us, and I've only been here a few months, so that's pretty cool. I see Alpha Sean in chat. He's been with me basically since I've started playing competitive, and we played together. Then he coached us. Then he was like our manager, and so I've just known him a long time. And for him to see the beginning till now is pretty cool. And then I have 2 IRL friends in the chat, Furman and WH Cream, who are just always in the streams supporting me. So it's fun. It's fun to see them in there. Weehaw!
Oh yeah, our manager hasn't really got. I don't think we've mentioned our manager a single time, but he usually just he really makes everything smooth, run behind the scenes. So coaching staff and players don't have to worry about a lot of the like minute stuff that most teams need. His name's Hoshi.
Well, that's all I have question-wise, and pretty good insight into Primal Instinct. Congratulations to getting the first win for your organization. I have nothing else. Spooky?
I got 2 questions, all right? First off, why didn't you just let us have a 3rd game of Thresh? What?
So we were looking at usually when we draft on red side, we tend to save support pick for later, and it just ended up being that Blitzcrank looked a lot more fun for Turtles this game. Would you agree with that, Turtles?
Yeah, I don't want to say it was an ego pick, but it might have been a little bit of an ego pick.
If we were having fun with it, that's understandable. Second, last question, all right? Do you have any remorse at all for the amount of times you pulled your B brother into death? I saw the chat. I saw you guys having a good time with the B emotes. You betrayed that man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna speak too much of it. Dallas is a good player. I've been playing against him for a while. Yeah, and GG's to TA. They were, made it this far, so congrats to them, and a good series as well. If you want to see an interesting clip of me and Dallas and my true emotions of that series, there's a clip in Dominate General that Pogo's posted. You guys might want to check out after the stream's over.
Thank you guys so much for coming by after the game. Congratulations again on not just your championship, but your first championship as an organization. That's so exciting. I'm glad we could be here to share that moment with you guys. Thank you, everyone else, for joining us for that moment as well. We appreciate you. Make sure, though, that you don't just look at this match and say, okay, well, Risen's done. Another game happening this coming Friday, so make sure you're here for it. You don't want to miss any more of this amazing league. It's been Spooky and Dobby's been the one War Eagle on that spectator running everything for us. Thank you so much. We'll see you on Friday.